Over the past few years, we've been refining a feature that has the potential to transform the way you type, and it's finally ready. Now you can add up to 5 functions to one single key. Imagine the possibilities. Let's start by exploring the possibilities that the new Superkeys have to offer. Superkeys let you assign different functions depending on how you press a key. Tap, hold, tap and hold, double tap, and double tap and hold. Let's begin with something simple. You could have caps lock on tap and shift on hold. This effectively turns 2 keys into 1. You could also have escape on tap and command Q on hold. And I just closed Bazecor. Another idea is to have tab on tap and shift tab on hold. That way you can navigate tabs or indents fast. But one of my favorites is to have backspace on tap and control or command plus backspace on hold. That way you can delete full lines of text. Another great use of Superkeys is to add shortcuts to normal keys. You can configure X, C, and B to become copy, cut, and paste when you hold them. You can also have easier to reach function keys. You can add the corresponding function key on hold to your number row. For example, 1 can be F1 when you hold it, and the computer complains. This tap hold functionality is also great to make the most of keys that are close to your fingers. For example, you can have a key that's backspace or space on tap and shift or control on hold. Another helpful thing to add to hold is layers. Tap for space and hold for a layer. Layers are like customizable function keys. You can have one with arrows, symbols, the number pad, you choose. You can also add hold to your normal keys. For example, you can have Shift, Control, Option, and Command on hold for A, S, T, F, and J, K, L semicolon. This is known as home row modifiers and allows you to press them without moving your fingers from where they rest on the keyboard. For example, I'm gonna type Shift, K. Other people use Superkeys to avoid having to use Shift at all. To achieve this, you only need to configure a Superkey where hold is the capitalized version of tap, and repeat that for every key. For example, if I tap A, I get A, and if I hold it, I get capital A. These are just some ideas. You can choose or combine any of these to change the way you type. They all share a similar result. You'll avoid having to stretch and contort your fingers for things you repeat constantly, like capitalizing letters or using shortcuts. However, the Superkeys potential doesn't stop here. We've just explored tap and hold. There are 3 more functions we can add. Here's where you can go crazy. Let me share some of my favorites. Super Media Key. Tap for play, pause, hold for mute, tap and hold to rewind, and 2 tap to skip. Super Sign. Tap for best, hold for warm regards, and 2 tap for looking forward to hearing from you. Super Copy. Tap to copy, hold to cut, tap and hold to paste without format, and 2 tap to paste. Now that you know what Superkeys can do, it's time to see how to configure them for your Dygma keyboard. Open Bazecor, the configurator software, and press Configure on your keyboard. Go to the Superkeys menu and create or select a Superkey. Add the functions that you want and press Save Changes. You can add normal keys, layers and modifiers, macros, media keys, and more. Now head over to the layout editor. Select the key where you want the Superkey and head over to the Superkey submenu. There, select the Superkey that you want to assign. Finally, press Save Changes and you're done. One important thing to remember when configuring Superkeys is that they'll behave slightly differently depending on the number of actions you assign to them. If you only assign tap and hold, they'll be snappier. That's why we've named them fast superkeys. If you add functions beyond hold, the superkeys needs to wait to determine whether a tap will be a single tap or a double tap. So you may notice that the key takes a split second to appear on screen. You can adjust the wait times for a superkey in the Preferences menu. Here you'll find many settings, so let's go through them. For fast superkeys, here are the key takeaways. If you're accidentally triggering the hold when you want the tap, increase the hold timeout, the overlap threshold, and the minimum hold timeout. If you're not triggering the hold and getting tap instead, decrease them. For normal superkeys, the settings are simpler. Hold timeout manages how long you have to hold a key to trigger the hold. Next tap timeout manages how long the superkey waits for the second tap. Lower it if you want them to feel snappier, but if you lower it too much, you'll need trigger fingers to be able to get a 2-tap. Developing the superkeys has been a long, arduous journey. It might seem simple, but it turns out that people type and use them in a gazillion different ways. So, making everything work in all those scenarios has been a titanic endeavor. That's why they have been in beta for years. Thanks to your help and feedback, we have polished dozens of different use cases and unexpected behaviors. If you'd like us to make a crazy deep development video, let us know. And please share your thoughts and your favorite superkeys in the comments. Mikel, out.